Hello, this is David, and welcome to Equity Story. There's your long-term chart, your weekly chart on the ASX 200. We're still not quite there yet. We're still, I think, got to do a lot more to get out of this downtrend. But if we can sort of follow the price action on the Dow, hopefully next week will be our week. So fingers crossed. Um, just having a look at, I think some of the stocks that we sort of been putting on recently. Um, it's quite interesting. Every sort of Sunday we do the weekly buy and sell signals, so you often see these, and we don't suggest when to sell these either. We just do these for really our sort of more short-term traders. We just say these stocks are bullish or these stocks should go up this week. But the ones that tend to do very well, the ones that have we call them classic weekly buy signals, and this is if you go on Einstein's training blog, you can see the ones we put on each week, and we put a little graph as well. And we'll show you in the past when these stocks have clicked up and they've gone through these buy signals. And obviously PGH was one of them last week. And generally speaking, I think they do absolutely brilliantly. And what's even more amazing, they've done really well in a market which hasn't been trending at all. And sometimes they will take a little bit more than a week. Sometimes they can take 2 weeks. I think a classic example of that was GHC. Now look at that. That's what a fantastic trend that stock is. It's unbelievable. And 2 weeks ago, here we had this little buy signal. You can see the past buy signals. Bang, bang. When it's a really predictable stock. It's always clicked through. And we put the buy signal out, and the next week it went up like we expected, but only a little bit. And then the following week, bang, up she goes, and so she went from that 190 to 2. So there's your nice 5%, a very easy trade. And I think that was the only buy signal we had that week. But it did absolutely, it would have made good money for anyone that went into that trade. And this week again, generally speaking, they've done pretty well. SKC was there, went right for the buy signal, up about sort of, I think, at least 5%. PGH as well. There's your buy signal. Bang, up she went. She did really well. I think MTS. What did she open the week at? It's hard to see a little bit on this graph, but she opened the week up on 178, and went as high as 184 before coming back a little bit. And Magellan didn't really click this week. But could well do next week. And again, Aristocrat didn't really click at all. But generally speaking, that's a fantastic chart, and I think she'll make up for it next week. But please keep your eye out for these weekly buy and sell signals, because they are extremely good, and I think sort of making a lot of good money for a lot of people going in each week and cleaning up. I just like to look at some stocks of interest as well at the moment. I think the Vita Group, again, we put this on at as a 3-year growth. And again, she did really well today, up a nice sort of 5%. And if you look at that chart, it's good to see really great companies like this one growing its earnings, but it's even better to see them when the market are reacting. And this looks extremely good, and it's got a little buy signal on the short term. So again, what a great looking chart, and by looks of it, Vita Group, I think the buy was around under 310 or around $3, but even though she's jumped a little bit higher, if you're not in Vita Group, I still think there's time to get in it. And again, it's a really, really solid little story. Just having a look at one of the trends we put on there, ORE. It's doing quite well for us, because we're up a nice little sort of 5-6%, but I was sort of looking at ORE where it's going to go, and I think she's going to run even harder next week. So I think potentially in the medium term, I think ORE is going a lot higher, maybe even, I think she could test $4. She might even go maybe $5, $6, $7. I think she's certainly worth a lot more when she's trading. And I've just got a funny feeling with this stock. Often you've got to squash these up a little bit. I think there's a good chance that ORE could have a real run over the next few months and attack that $4, even $5 level. I mean, often when these type of stocks run, they'll run pretty hard, and certainly the fundamentals behind it are absolutely excellent. One stock I'd like to have a look at is actually 1PG. Now, we actually originally bought a stock around, I think, 120, and we did really well on it. We took it up to around sort of $4.50. Since then, we sold it, and then we put it on again as a buy. But since then, it has come back. Equity story, we actually really get excited when we see this is a 3-year growth story, and potentially, I think it's going to give us an excellent opportunity to buy a stock at really, really cheap levels. At the moment, we're just watching because I think it could have one more down leg next week. I don't know. The 1PG story is quite, in some ways, an awkward story to understand. It's quite hard to ascertain the value. But really, the value is in their database, and they've got 1.2 billion people on their database. And to try and put that in perspective, Facebook, which is worth, what was Facebook worth, 250 billion or something, has got 1.5 billion people in their data book. And I think I've been reading, 1PG haven't done anything wrong. I don't think their share price deserves the price action it's had recently, but this is all market sentiment, and the stock has run up on market sentiment a little bit like Refine did, and again it's come down, but I think it's pretty unjust. And potentially, we're just watching this. We can try and ascertain some type of, when it picks some bottom, I think we're going to put it out as a buy again, and I think potentially for us we could absolutely make a lot of money with 1PG again over the next hopefully 2 or 3 months. 1PG is it's got a fantastic platform for employment, and we certainly do equity stories. We follow trends, but often if we see a stock get sold down like this, for us all we do is see dollar signs. It gets quite exciting. So we will look to try and maybe as a buy or an entry to get into 1PG sometime, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Just having a look, I was actually, Sols, we had this Sols as a bullish stock this week, and it was up, and now it's got a little buy signal. So I think Sol Pats will be obviously added as a classic weekly buy signal for next week, and it actually looks a really good solid little chart, and I think Sol Pats potentially will do quite well next week. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for listening to Equity Story. Have a great weekend. Thank you for all the nice messages we get here all the time in Equity Story. And if you're ever not sure about a stock or you're worried, just pick up the phone, call me, send me an email. This is we've been very successful since we got an Equity Story, but the hard thing out there's a lot of people that are trading on their own, and that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about shares. We're here to help you. So pick up the phone, and we would and we're here to talk about not only the shares that we have, but also maybe shares that you've got in your portfolio. We're certainly interested to put them on our trending system, have a look, and give you some ideas where they could be. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to Equity Story, and again, have a great weekend. Bye bye.